Hello, my stamping friends. It's Kristine from Queen City Stamp Art, and today I'm here to show you how to make cards using designer series pattern paper and sentiments and a few embellishments. But no real big stamping today, just using stamped sentiments and designer series paper. So one of the things about Stampin' Up! That makes it really special, I think, is the way the products all coordinate. So they come across every catalog period with suites of product. This happens to be the Bird Ballad suite that I'm using today. I absolutely love this one. I think it's beautiful with the birds and the beautiful pattern papers and all the products that coordinate. So many of you know that Stampin' Up! Will often sell bundles of product. So you can bundle a stamp set and a die set will be bundled together, and you save 10% buying them together. And then usually there's also some pattern paper that you can get that coordinates with the bundle as a separate charge. But lately, the last couple catalogs, they've been putting together these suites of product where they not only bundle the stamps and dies, but you can add paper, and this happens to be a tin with some lacy laser cut card panels or card and envelope packets, and then some pretty lacy ribbon and some trinkets that go with the suite. So you can buy all of this all together, or you can buy just the stamp set and the die set together bundled. But I think it creates some nice options for purchasing product that coordinates beautifully and kind of takes the hard part out of coordinating product. They really do it for you. So today we're going to be using the pattern paper from this bundle. And one of the things that's also very lovely about the designer series paper offered by Stampin' Up! Is that it's double-sided. So you get 6 patterns, 2 of each sheet. Really you get 12 patterns, but you get 6 double-sided papers times 2, so 2 of each. So you get 12 sheets of paper, and they're double-sided, and they have just some beautiful patterns on them. One thing that I really love is that there's usually some sort of theme type pattern, and then on the back there's just a neutral pattern. So even if you don't like the themed pattern, you can usually use the neutral side to get the full mileage out of the card packet. So we're going to take these beautiful papers today and cut them up into smaller pieces to make cards. So I'm going to make one card in front of you, and then I'm going to show you 4 others that I made earlier today. So we're also going to use, in addition to the pattern paper and the sentiments from the stamp set, because there's some really great sentiments in this set, we're going to use some of the Bird Ballad trinkets, which are these little metal embellishments, and we're going to use some linen thread. I really love the linen thread. I think it looks really pretty with this card theme. The white twine would also work beautifully, but we're going to stick with the linen thread so that it matches the other cards that I made today. So let's get started here. Oh, I already chose the sentiment I'm going to use. Thanks for being you. So what I did was I cut a white base card, and then I also cut using the the layered squares framelit dies. I cut a scallop base panel or layer panel in petal pink cardstock with the scallops, and then I used the coordinating die that creates the other layer to cut out these birds out of this particular pattern. You can see where you could lay the die over different birds and cut them out. So I picked this little pair of birds and cut them out, and then I'm just going to layer them onto this piece using a little adhesive. Nice and flat on here. Like that. Then what I'm going to do while that dries is I'm going to stamp my sentiment panel, my little strip here. So I'm going to use the Memento Black ink because all of the bird outlines are in black, so it makes for a really nice crisp sentiment, just like that. And then I'm going to position this on the card here, and then this I think I'm going to put in the center. And I'm going to tie a little twine around this square before I glue it down. So I'm going to take some of this linen thread, and I'm going to wrap it around. And what's nice about doing it on the scallops is like the scallop actually kind of holds it in place. Then I'm going to add my little trinket before I tie the bow. So I'm going to put this little trinket on the thread here. There's a little hole to loop it through. Tighten that down, and then make a little bow with the thread just to keep it in place, like this. Then I'm going to adjust the tails on my bow. And trim them off with my scissors. Like that. And then we can glue this to the card base. And then we're going to pop this up in the center, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some little points here. There we go, like that. And then I'm going to use some dimensional adhesive to pop it up. Put one more on there. The release paper, and then here we go. I'm just going to lay this right here on the front by the birds. And then I think I'm going to take a glue dot with my scissors and tuck this underneath the little embellishment here, so I can keep it in place where I want it. And that will stick it down and keep it right where I want it to be. There we go, just like that. And there you go. This is a really quick and easy card to make using minimal supplies. I think the embellishment really dresses it up. And I'm going to show you a few other cards that I made too earlier today when I was playing with this idea. Clean that up. And I'll pull out these cards and I'll show them to you one by one. So I have this card that I made where I just took 2 squares of designer series paper in different patterns and cut them to 3 inches square. And then I cut a little tag that was about 3 inches long by 1 inch wide, and I stamped a sentiment and cut a little V here, and then punched a hole in the top and tied some twine and put another little trinket. Then I put a little tiny piece of glimmer paper to kind of dress it up, and you have a perfectly simple little card with a lovely greeting. Then for this one, I did something similar. I took a panel of the designer series paper that measured like 3 by 4 1/4, and then I cut a petal pink mat to 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and I just layered those together, and before I glued it down I wrapped some linen thread around it and then glued it to the panel. Then I stamped a little strip here, a 1/4 inch strip of a 1/2 inch strip of white Whisper White cardstock with the black ink, and again layered a little strip of glimmer paper underneath and popped it up with some dimensionals, and it's just a perfectly adorable little friend card. I think the patterns are so busy and vibrant that you don't really need the stamping using some of these papers in this way. I think it really lends itself great to just making really simple, clean cards that are pretty just without even a lot of stamping. And then for this one, I used the nested label dies like that came with the bundle, and I cut one and I just cut the edge off of it, so it's not a 6-sided, it's just flat on this end. Then I stamped a sentiment and punched it out with my 2-inch circle punch, layered on a little starburst in petal pink, and then layered another piece of the cardstock with some glimmer paper, some of the designer series paper with some glimmer, tied a little bow and glued it with a glue dot, and then also glue dotted another one of the little trinkets on there. Very simple, very quick. This is one of my favorites. I don't know why, I just really love this card. I cut a little white square and layered on a piece of this designer series pattern. Then I layered some additional patterns together. I used the 1 3/8 inch scallop circle punch, and then a 1 1/8 inch circle, and stamped hello, layered these together, tied some twine with a trinket, and again, another simple, beautiful card that took almost no time at all to make. Very, very quick and easy. All of these cards were super quick and easy. So I'm going to take pictures of these and put them on my blog, which there's a link to my blog down below the video. You can click on it to get a closer view at these cards. This was, again, the one we made today using the trinket and the twine and a little bit of designer series paper. It kind of goes with the little set that I've made here. I hope that you enjoyed the cards today. If you would like to check out my my blog, the address is queencitystampart.com. And if you would like any of the supplies that I used, you can purchase those through that site or through my Stampin' Up site, which is linked at my blog and also linked below the video. So thanks again for stopping in today and watching. I hope you got some great ideas. Again, you could do this with any designer series paper or any pattern paper you have in your stash. So pull out some of your stamps, your sentiment stamps, and some pattern paper, and have a little bit of fun. Thanks.